gotta put the time in. Wake up, Billy's. Wake up, Billy's. No opinion and place your calling. WB. Be yourself, see yourself. This is a show my people. Billy's our hope, so to needless reason. Nobody feel left out, is the vibe we dealing. Let's find a solution. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Love, respect, unselfishness and cooperation. That's how we need to build a strong nation. We are the people to make the changes. We are the changes. WB. And all the things that must be happen and I got blue skies. And nothing make people get victimized. Let's work together for better. We got to unite. Billy's here. Wake up, Billy's. Wake up, Billy's. Another day is here. Wake up, Billy's. Wake up, Billy's. We gotta keep moving. Na 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 na. Wake up, Billy's. Wake up, Billy's. Everybody gotta put their time in. Wake up, Billy's. Wake up, Billy's. Voice our opinion and place your calling. WB. Get up, make every day count. Don't waste it, people. Do your part, play your role, get where you need to. You can tune in for work or in your vehicle. If you got a problem, pick up the phone. Why wait? It's a time calling. It's a show with no matter even if you're at home. Just call in. WB. Wake up, Billy's. Wake up, Billy's. Another day is here. Wake up, Billy's. Wake up, Billy's. We gotta keep moving. Na 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 na. Wake up, Billy's. Wake up, Billy's. Everybody gotta put their time in. Wake up, Billy's. Wake up, Billy's. Voice our opinion and place your calling. WB. Be yourself, see yourself. This is a show, my people. Billy's our hope, so to needless reason. Nobody feel left out, is the vibe with the
right, welcome. This is WUB Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes on a Thursday, the 27th day of February 2025. Imagine, the months are moving fast. I'm Nuri Mohammed for today's host, and we welcome you to the program this morning. We go through certain steps, as you know. We give you an update on the weather. We bring you up to date on our news from our news center. And then a little after 7 o'clock, we get into the main course for the morning. We do have a guest coming in later on in the morning, but the first part of the show will be for you. Our announcer this morning, or our Met officer this morning, is Crystal Rosales. Ms. Rosales?
Good morning. Generally fair conditions prevail over the country. And in the 24-hour forecast, skies will be variably cloudy today with little or rain expected. Then partly cloudy to cloudy tonight with only isolated showers developing over the south coast. High temperatures will reach around 85 degrees Fahrenheit along the coast, 88 degrees Fahrenheit inland, and then 70 degrees Fahrenheit in the mountains. For tonight, low temperatures will reach around 74 degrees Fahrenheit along the coast, 64 degrees Fahrenheit inland, and then 60 degrees Fahrenheit in the hills. Winds over the open sea will be from the east to northeast at 5 to 15 knots, and sea conditions will be slight to light chop. Then high tides occur at 9:57 this morning and at 9:51 tonight. Low tides at 3:36 this afternoon and then at 4:34 tomorrow morning. The moon rose at 5:58 this morning and will set at 5:52 this evening, and then sunrise is at 6:12 this morning and sunset at 5:58 this evening. The extended forecast for Friday and Friday night is for mainly fair conditions with isolated showers developing. And in the sarcasm update, latest satellite imagery and surface observations continue to show sarcasm increasing over our area. Moderate impacts are expected for the next few days. And this has been this morning's weather report from the National Meteorological Service.
The first private radio in Belize since 1989, Creme FM presents news. Informative, accurate, current information, local, regional, and international news, weather and sports. And now, the news.
Asked about Boris Mansfield's assassination, which comes amid allegations of a web of fraudulent dealings involving millions of misappropriated funds and property from expectant landowners, Prime Minister John Bersenio on Wednesday explained that getting in place legislations to regulate the real estate industry was overtaken by events. He also added that the legislation, along with digitization at the Lands Department, should help to weed out corruption.
It is difficult for me to be able to to comment on something that I don't really know. I don't know the facts. But from what I understand, Mr. Boris Mansfield, the problems that he's been facing, and he and his partner, has to do with private land, not government land, and where in some instances it's alleged that they have fraudulently forged signatures. Now, there is a process when you are transferring land from one person to the other. Maybe the people at land could have been more vigilant, probably. Maybe some may be involved, I don't know. But yes, I think there's a lot that has to be left to be done in the Lands Department. There are a number of things that we want to put into place. First of all, the DPM has given me a copy of the proposed legislation for real estate agents to regulate that industry. It is something that I started working. I had it pretty much ready when I resigned back then in 2007, but it seems that the previous government had no interest in working on that. Our DPM obviously got carried away. Well, I shouldn't say got carried away. Was tied up with all of these land clinics that he continues to do, and then and know that he finally have this bill ready to take to cabinet and then to the National Assembly. Well, the elections came upon us. In his mind, the timeline I think he was working was November 2025. So he did not have it ready, but to take it to the National Assembly. But we're working on that, so we have that ready, and that's going to be taken. That's going to be a priority in the next government. Secondly, we're looking at digitizing the land registry and the titles unit, because once we can digitize that, it slows down. It makes it the issue of fraudulent transaction makes it more difficult, because then there is a digital imprint of what is happening, and so we want to do that, not only to prevent fraud but also to provide a more effective and efficient service for the private sector. And thirdly, we need to be able to digitize the land tax unit of the ministry, and see once we can digitize that, and maybe look at how the lands department can partner with the Belize tax service to be able to have a more effective and efficient ways to be able to collect land tax. I am told, and I may be wrong, that we have as much as $100 million in land tax to collect, but we collect probably maybe 10 or 20% of that. So we have to be able to digitize it, modernize it, and then to be able to collect that monies in a timely fashion.
The city of Revere in Massachusetts in the United States, the hometown of 3 women who died in Hamburger Ski last week, is mourning. On Tuesday, family and friends held a vigil for the women, who were described as productive members of the community. The mayor, Patrick M. Coffey Jr., has issued a statement earlier stating that the information received from Belizean authorities leaves their grieving communities with many questions. He stated, quote, "I have heard widespread concerns from the family and the community members about the lack of transparency in this investigation and the media narrative painted by Belizean authorities," end of quote. He also highlighted that the U.S. Department of State issued a Level 2 travel advisory for Belize in December due to an increased risk of crime, and added that they will exhaust all avenues, both domestic and foreign, to ensure a proper and fair analysis of this case. The case is being widely reported internationally. Appearing on a morning show on Wednesday, the Commissioner of Police, Chester Williams, indicated that authorities have ruled out the possibilities of carbon monoxide poisoning as the cause of death of 26-year-old Wafi El Arie, 23-year-old Khasar Nabab, and 24-year-old Imani Malar. The Commissioner had said that they had ruled out all possibilities of what may have transpired, and that the fire service would be asked to conduct a test. The Department of the Environment also participated in the screen done on Tuesday. As it relates to the postmortem, the Commissioner says that has been completed, and the result is that they died from pulmonary edema, which indicates there was excessive fluid in the lungs. A toxicology screen is to be conducted. Samples have been taken and will be sent abroad. The Commissioner added that the test on the gummy bear candies found in the room remains to be concluded. Also yesterday, the Commissioner, Chester Williams, and Jian Cho, Executive Director of the National Forensic Science Service, were interviewed by CBS Boston about the death of the women. Cho gave a timeline on when all the required testing would be completed to be able to arrive at the cause of death of the women.
In terms of a final time or period, we're the histology will be completed. So as I mentioned, this week we're starting on the controlled substances or suspected controlled substances. Next week, toxicology should start, and that can run about 14 days. And then after that, we will do the histology. The histology can take up to another 14 days. So we're looking at roughly about a month from now, where we should be able to have more scientific information to support cause of death, to further details in that cause of death. So the pending investigation would take about roughly, it's difficult to peg it down to a definite time period, but roughly about a month from now, we're aiming to have the results back. So we're trying to minimize delays, of course. There are processes that we need to follow, things such as flights that we need to make sure we schedule shipping of samples on, and to avoid delays at airports, etc. So there's some scheduling considerations why we have to ship it out next week. Otherwise, if we could, we'd have sent samples out this week.
Williams was also asked if U.S. citizens should feel safe to visit Belize, and what would he say to those questioning the ongoing investigation. Williams also said that the resort has not had such an incident before, and in fact, it is something absolutely new for the nation on a whole.
Certainly, I would maintain that Belize is still a relatively safe country. I can tell you that we rank among the countries with the lowest incidence against tourists in our country. We cannot say at this time that what happened to the young ladies leading to the death was caused by Belizeans, and so we don't want it to be imputed that there is something done by Belizeans that caused the death of these young women. But anybody watching and may have hopes of coming to Belize, I would invite them to keep the hope and make the trip. We are a friendly nation. Our people are from different walks of life. We are like a melting pot. You can find almost every ethnicity of people in Belize. And though we're from different walks of life and different ethnicities, we live together as one. And that's what makes us very unique and friendly. So feel free, come and see what our country has to offer.
Now, what you have laid out about your investigation is very thorough, but naturally, there will still be some people who might be skeptical. So what is your message to those who might be skeptical of the investigation being conducted right now? What are your words to them?
Well, the truth is there's a lot that we have done and what we will continue to do. At the end of the day, like Director Shaw had mentioned that it is important for us to arrive at a definitive cause of death and what led to that cause of death. Not just for the satisfaction of the family members who are grieving, but for us as a nation as well, the people who live on Ambergris Key. Because certainly even the locals who live in Ambergris Key will have some concerns.
TV dangerous harm close range in January in Independence has been denied bail and was remanded to prison. In political news, Dean Samuels, the SBUDP candidate who was to run in the Pickstock division, has since explained his reasons for not showing up for nominations. He had actually been on a UDP talk show that morning and had taken the track to the Civic in his party leader's march. However, at the very last minute, he abandoned the area, citing that he got a fainting spell, but also revealing that he felt he was unprepared to follow through due to a lack of finances for his campaign.
I want to publicly apologize to my party, every member of the United Democratic Party and its supporters. I want to publicly apologize to the people at the Pickstock division, those of you who I took away the chance from giving you that opportunity to come out and protest your vote against the wrongs that this government is doing. You, of all people, I took that away from you guys. And for me, that basically is one of the worst feeling I have that right there. The truth of the matter is, politics is about finances, you know what I mean? And the truth of the matter, everybody understand that the person I was going up against is one of the most powerful, financially viable ministers in the government. It was understood by my party basically that, you know what happened. And I sat with them and we all agreed that, you know what happened, moving forward, the finances will be put in the hands of basically those seats that we think we have more opportunity or chances of winning, which I agree to. There is no problem with that. It's disheartening, but there's no problem with that. For me, when I met with my financiers, people who basically had financed me throughout my bid, from I started the bid in Pickstock basically, and meeting with them, friends, family, you know what I mean, financiers who basically was there for me in every sense of the word. You know, I met with them and they explained that, you know, they don't believe basically it's financially viable, or even for them, or even for me to continue contest, or for them to continue finance me in my bid under the current situation where we are as a party and the division and such. So the reality is, if I can't represent people the way how I want to represent people, if I cannot put forward a proper bid, then I just set myself one of the worst losers ever in history.
Samuel says that it was therefore a combination of things that overwhelmed him at the last minute, and he made a decision that was in his best interest after learning that his financiers were gone.
So the mishaps I want me to tell you about what happened was, Saturday night and the Sunday all night, they make flags downstairs at headquarters, you know what I mean? They're putting up flags Sunday night and so till late. Go home, get up early in the morning. Knees swell up, everything, so because everybody understand I got a bad knee and a bad hip from accident, no? And wake up early in the morning, take a painkiller early in the morning, gone for morning show, did what I had to do, gone back home, prepare for come for nominations, take another painkiller, knees swell up big, you know. But at the end of the day, come out there, meet me people there, you know. Take care of them. They're alright. I make sure they're alright, regardless. But the truth of the matter is, like what I say, walk the entire distance from headquarters to civic and condition. Truth, I had really mishap in the sense I get really faint episode. I had to call my bro. My bro said, you know what happened? Come to me. You know what happened? Dean, your pressure they up a little bit. They have a medical name for it, what we call dizziness or faint or something, but doctors have a name for it and have sesame something. Anyway, he said the pressure might be up slight because of the pills are take, the ibuprofen, the strong ibuprofen were taking at that period of time close to one another, the dehydration from the walking and everything, and you know. But he said just take care of the hydrator and whatsoever upon a level. And you know, coming back, I remember I text my party and tell her they're on my way, just while he spell catch me, I had to hold on to all the campaigner. Boom, bring me that vehicle, I jump in there. But so truth is, while I did another vehicle coming back and thing, I call my chairman, he said, my secretary, he said the way coming down, you had a hole up the airport. So people feel that me like while he makes up a lot of things, they happen all at once, you know what I mean? And the reality check because of me confusion about the situation already. And you know, I say, you know, happened, Dean, is it really worth it? Really and truly, your health, you love to kill yourself, you're going in an election not prepared, and at the end of the day, you always put everybody ahead of you, and at the end of the day, you know, in the end, what happened to you after the fact? If you drop down and you're dead, tomorrow everything roll on. And in that moment I make that decision, I say, no, man, not message.
Commenting on the ordeal, the PUP leader, John Bresenio, took issue with the point that the turn of events reflects a failure of Belize's democracy.
It's not a failure of democracy. That is democracy. People decide who they want. In this instance, nobody felt that they wanted. They felt that I quite likely feel that Anthony Marley has been doing a great job. So why will I go and try to challenge Anthony Marley if he's doing a good job? Why will I challenge him if I believe that the people are supporting him? I'll be wasting my time, my effort, and a little bit of resources. So it's not a failure. It's a true testament to the strength of the democratic process in Belize.
So the leader of the opposition is alleging that you guys paid off his candidate, so not show up.
I guess desperate statements during desperate times and trying to find an excuse. It is obvious that the person who was there had felt that he doesn't have a chance to win, and they felt that Anthony, by any measurement, Anthony has been doing a tremendous work, a job as the area representative in the Pickstock division. So why will you go against a person that you know what the results are going to be, that you're going to lose? If you look at it, what the leader of the opposition is trying to do, all he's trying to do is he's thinking beyond this general election. He's thinking about his election as leader of the party. Because after this election, it is well known after the general elections that the UDP will have a national convention. And it is important for him to field candidates, just to field candidates, knowing that they're not win, but he wants to be able to do that so that then he could control the delegates. So I don't expect anything less from the leader of the opposition.
Your cabinet colleague, your cabinet colleague, Mr. Espat, he had a different.
Which one?
Julius.
Okay.
He had a different opinion. He believes that in order to have a strong democracy, you have to have a strong opposition. That people, at the end of the day, win or lose, should be able to go to the ballots and put their X on a name.
He's not saying anything different than what I'm standing for. We need to have a strong democracy. But there comes a point sometimes that you have a very strong leader, a person that has been working for the people, delivering for the people, so others will say, why will I go into upset this? Why am I going to put my name when I know that the people are happy with him? That is the democratic process. So Julius is not saying anything different than I've just said.
And that's our news package for this morning, the 27th day of February 2025. There's more news coming up a little bit after 12 o'clock, right after the morning stew, as a matter of fact. There's an update also at 3 o'clock and a full news broadcast at 5:15, all this on Creme Radio. Here on XTV, we bring you the full news broadcast at 6 o'clock this evening. It's now 2 minutes to 7 o'clock. Very short break, come back, and we'll open the phone lines and begin our conversation for this morning.
The first private radio in Belize since 1989. The news. Informative, accurate, current information.
right, welcome back. This is WUB Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes. It's a Thursday morning, and we are open now for conversation. Our numbers here is 280-5848, and you're welcome to call and to continue the debate. Actually, the debate is going on in the streets right now. People are saying, you know, is our democracy healthy? Is our democracy alive and well? We've had something that we've never seen before. We have had quarrels in the opposition before, but not as debilitating as we've seen in this time around. We'll continue. Welcome, caller.
Good morning.
Yeah, morning, sir. Welcome. Yeah, my brother.
Well,
So what you think about what happened? I know you, the man, where watch the process very closely. Do you think, like the reporters have been putting out to the leaders, is democracy alive in Belize when you see some of what we're seeing? We've heard from the area representative of Cayo South, Mr. Espat, and he's very concerned about the state of the opposition and by extension the state of the democracy. What do you think?
you believe the member from Council is concerned about democracy? It is just the setup. If we feel like it's concerned, then people know what they have.
I don't know. I think that particular
I don't feel about politicians. They love total power. That's what politicians do. They love total power. I don't tell them, the citizens are so frightened. You may die, you may glory. Total power, do what they want. And the same way they politicians, they want to make one picture like they're concerned and we need a strong opposition, but they don't need that. They want one free way. They want to do what they want, brother. This is exactly why I call the show all the time. I said, when people are genuine, you listen to them. I ain't got time to waste today.
All right. let me. I want to provoke you. I want to provoke you because.
Remember, before everybody gets power, who got the power? The people have the power. And the people want to transfer their power to these people. So we have the power. So that we have to have sense in order to lead a strong democracy. So you have to go there now and watch what happen. I said, well, we can't make this happen. We have to fight against it. What happens regardless. And when you see the picture, man, they pull out and they division and things. The people have to get up now and say, we don't allow this to happen. Because the politicians, they love that, especially the ruling party. So that the people know the fight to a strong democracy. You can't let that up to the politicians. And that's what happened to we were never reward. That's what happened. They have a free way to do what they want.
All right.
So that's the way I speak. Yeah. We are the one. We have to stand up. We can't let it to politicians. So we have to go out there and fight whatever way we have to fight to make it happen. Serious. That's how I see.
You know,
What's the young lady with the People's United Party of now? That young lady has to be right. That young lady was used by the party when they needed everybody running behind her. After they got certain people who try so much, they push on, not pushing who they want. That's how politics goes. So a dirty game with politicians. But the people have to stand up with their country, not their party, not their country. Because we have to live there. We don't have no way to go, especially me. 60 years I have never been out of this country. So that we have to stand up. No respect to the politicians. Because they chance it. There's no way they have. Many of these people still running behind these politicians nowadays and they have no job. Many of them have no job. $25 for a t-shirt. That's what I show for the team. See you, this is what happened in the country. And that's a whole exact way. You have to punish anything from up where we have to go and say, well, we can hustle for everybody. But you don't have your own money that they use to control you. This is what is happening, your own money that they use to control you. You want to transfer power to them and they use their power to control you. They don't do what you want. They just do what they want.
Let me ask you.
They don't borrow money outside. They don't go and say that the Prime Minister they borrow money. They borrow money on behalf of the people of believe and our country.
Let me
you have to stand up there and strong democracy.
let me ask you. I want to ask you a question.
All right, go through, brother.
All right, good. Do you think that what is going on presently with the leadership of the People's United Party over the last 4+ years is something new in our democracy? Or is this the thing that we've been doing since independence and even before? The reason I'm asking you this is because you are a consistent caller on this show. And during the time that the UDP were in for 13 years, you would call and you would complain the exact same thing that you complain now about the PUP. So I want to know, is it a failed democracy? Or is it just the PUP fault? Or is it the UDP fault? Or is it for we fault in terms of correcting this? Because I'm saying again, during the 13 years of the UDP, and I was here, you were calling in and complaining about the lack of proper governance under the UDP.
All right.
So are you saying then that our failure are the UDP and the PUP? And if that is your understanding, then where do we go from here? I'm sorry to put you in that position there, but you know, a lot of people nowadays.
I love questions like that. I really see that in question.
Good, good.
That is a very good question. It's a failure upon us as a people that we feel because we don't stand up enough. We make the politicians have free will. We have to start to read our call all the time that we have to get out there. We are the ones that we got the power in our hand, and out there we transfer our power to them. So we could take it back if we want, you know.
All right. Make a provoke you. Make a provoke you. Make a provoke you. Every time one independent group stand up and say, well, we can't deal with them two mass party because we think their mass party got their own issues. So we want to start from our own. We are go independent, or as the case of this freedom movement, we are put 5, 6, 8 people together and we want to contest the election. But the way the process works, like when Mr. Dean Samuels they say, if you don't got the money, you can't run. So does that put the average citizen like you at a disadvantage because you to try improve the system of governance, but the present system of governance is tied with certain protocols that you can't even get in there to make your opinion except on that voting day. And even when you vote, as you did in the last election, you're still the watch thing to go on and you're still the complain. So I'm asking you so that we don't continue to do the same thing over and over and they expect that we are getting different results. What is it that we need to do to correct the system? Do we need to start from kindergarten and teach people what is the role of citizenship so that they not just go in there as one blind person for one $25 or for a t-shirt to vote for somebody, that they understand the power of citizenship? Do we need to start all over because we recognize that the colonial who had their own agenda did not teach us properly how to run our system because it was at their advantage that we fuddle the way we do. So I'm asking you as a caller whom I respect very much and whom I've known for over 50 years, do you believe that it is a reflection of something with our democracy that we need to correct? Or is it just, well, boy, you know, I make a lot of noise during this election, but, you know, by 6 months I know you blow over like one lee breeze and it's same old, same old. What do you think?
All right, but I'm going to answer a large question first. It needs to be taught from very young, like we said, from very young, how important our power is, our power, from very young age. And my father a PUP, so I have to be PUP, or my father a UDP, UDP, so I have to be UDP. That's not the work. So that we have to start from a very young age. When it comes to independent candidates, I don't want always to talk independent. I want more people to be involved. More people, I believe, should have been involved. Broad group of people. I don't have no problem with that. No problem. And I believe this at the time right now, when you say independent candidates, we should have go towards the independent candidates, give them a chance, take their one money, because they got money, and go vote for an independent candidate, and try anything better where they have right now. Serious. That's how I believe down south should have gone for an independent candidate. I don't really like the car in like that for the campaign. But I would say, well, we need independent candidates now to get in at the house and shake up things.
All right.
Because I would say more not to work with the two political parties in order to work.
All right.
That's what I see. So we always bring up third party independent. Nobody they can win because that we, I don't use money for it. We are the one who decide to take money to vote for people. And we are the one who could decide to take the money and still not go vote for them. So we could take money and still not go vote for them. That could happen. When they think they got it in at the bank for it, or how we lose, we pay them people all the money and we still lose, they got to put somebody else. That could also happen. You could go there, the mindset and say, no, this don't work. This one party system here don't work. Because the PUP say they 29. You know that what kind of power they have? So people have to go there and fight the democracy. That's the way they talk to.
You know,
so we got the power, like I always say, it comes back to us, so we got the power.
let me say something that will probably cause some people a little bit of consternation. If you send one independent person to the House of Representatives, all you get is that person's right when his or her turn comes to get up and to voice their opinion on the particular bill that is in front of the House. As one individual, or even as two individuals, there's not that much that they can do in the way we presently have our system set up. Even if you are an area representative, and I remember this during the time of Dickie Bradley. Dickie Bradley in 1998 had an independent kind of campaign going on the south side of Belize City, to the point where some people even thought of him as being like the Prime Minister. He was probably even more popular than Saeed Musa. But when he got into the cabinet, do you think that Dickie could have do most of what he may promise the people he may do? No, because that's not the way the system works. Not the Belize system. When you as an individual mesmerize me and I go vote for you, that don't mean that when you mesmerize me with that you go into the house and make that happen. Because in the House, they have what they have, a collective cabinet rulership there. You're not an individual anymore when you get into the cabinet. You're not even an individual anymore when you get into the House of Representatives. You must belong to some group that when the vote comes down and it is passed, it is your proposition that is passed. And you're not just joining on to the majority vote. I'm saying this because we are trying to correct the system without understanding how the system is working. And we're trying to nitpick and pick here and put here and put there. But when you put it all together, it doesn't work like that. This system don't work like that. This is not like the American system where you don't want congressman or congresswoman and you go there and you could do your thing in the Congress. You see anybody do that, the House of Representatives? They all belong to a group. And they basically vote with the group. There's no independent there. The only independence we had there was Marcus Spot and Cordell Hyde, who had the courage to stand up against Saeed Musa some years ago. Anomaly. We gone right back. Then you had the G7, then jump out and make a lot of noise, but then they gone right back. So we are at a point in our democracy where you're not fixed yet. It's still molding, still malleable. It's something that we could still work with, but we will not be able to do it if the people are not educated. And unfortunately, I don't see no effort to really get down into the grassroots and start to educate with people on the Constitution and their rights in terms of how this thing is done. Just to give my opinion on that level.
You answer the question right there. Many of them people that does not, excuse me, word of the ball to do it. You have to step out from that. If you see something wrong with your party, you have to step out and say, here to go on. I don't care what money I make, this can't work. This have to my country and my people. But many of them rally along with it because it benefits them anyway. So we need new people. If I independent or to get in, they could get up in the house and fight for our rights.
Yeah.
Going to the masses and go behind me, even bring up our government. You could bring down our government.
Yeah.
With the vote and you hit the street, you could bring down a government. You could call another early election and things change.
Yeah.
So you could get out there and run. It's not my independent candidate can't do nothing. You give a chair in there, the house and they get together. They could war and people could see where they fight for. But you have to be strong. Watch Brother Will. How much time Brother Will not bring out all the issues at the start? So now what's why he's cheating down so?
Yeah, but we've had a lot of independent.
That time now for the people down south to rally behind Brother Will.
Yeah, but we got a lot of independent candidates, and I'm trying to say that the value of our independent candidates is that they are able to voice the concerns, not to get something done, because as an independent candidate, they are not able to garnish the amount of votes, if you want to use that in the House, in order to do that. Now, there are some other jurisdictions where those things have been done, but we don't see no example of that in our politicians yet. Nobody no willing to get out of the boat of safety, as Jesus said, and walk on the water. They don't have the faith to walk on the water independently. So yes, kudos to Will, but remember Will's power is his calling here, or if he gets into the House, being able to voice those concerns in the House. But is he, as an individual, going to be able to get the vote in the House to pass through some of his ideals? I doubt it. So let's look very realistically at what we're dealing with here if we want to correct it, because to me, this is a teachable moment. Here you got two men going in at the House that are just going in the House automatically. They're going on the House automatic. Why? Because the quarrel where they go on in at the opposition cannot even field a candidate to go and deal with these two PUP candidates. Why? Because what we do? And this man here said that he can't do it because besides his physical ailments, the man said he couldn't find financiers, meaning money, for TV commercial, radio commercial, banners and all that. And he can't find the money to do it. So he figured, why run against a juggernaut like Mr. Mala when I know I play no role? Do you see what we're really dealing with here, Carla?
That's exactly the point. That's exactly the point, Nuri. That's exactly the point. We need stronger people. Well, I say, to hell with all of that. You get out there, you have to work on that, Nuri. You can't just give up. Because we could give up and say, better we go and do that.
No.
I think you can't just use because I don't have no money. Will could say I don't have no money. I know I run, but will they try? You have to get, I will not back home. You have to, if the man beats you by 3,000 votes, you try to stand up.
Yeah.
But when you back out like that with our power and use money to you will not have no money either.
Yeah.
Will depend on the people and the love of the people to get engagement so it will help the people.
Big respect to Mr. Wilmer here, to Mr. Paul Morgan. Yeah.
Watch out, Nuri, I want to give you an example.
Yeah.
I see the great Fonseca. Well, Fonseca gets taken down.
Yeah.
By Mr.
Hutchison.
He got all the money. We have to think about Brother Hutchison Peter. So it can happen if the people have the will to give them a chance.
But look at the reward of Hutchison. He brought down one of the giants of the PUP. Ask him which ministry he get and where he may be able to do as one minister, if that benefit you. Did he become a hero? No. He get relegated and they don't even know about Hutchison.
That is a part of his party.
Not only part of the fault, it's a part of the way the system works. The system, I'm telling you, Dickie Bradley was probably more popular than Saeed Musa. Was he able to get in the house and do, even though he was in the house, he got in the house by being appointed as a senator to get into the house. I mean, we need to understand how this politics works, my brother. Because we had to knock our head against the wall to think that, why, if I criticize, then you can change. You know, change like that. We've got to do some deep diving into how this thing is structured. Because then got we in our, they're like one tunubal, my brother. They want tunubal. Because you could look.
We need new people to get in there to change it, because these two political parties not changing. They like the status quo. We need other people to get in and change it. Yeah. Because you know, here with all this PUDP, they not change, not they love the system. So only way we could do it that elect other people to get in there and fight to change the system.
I got the sense that on both sides there are politicians who want to see better, and maybe they don't have the courage to want to build the cat and see how we could really make this system better, because you know, it'll be better like now. What now? We're in a process. But if we're talking about better, we need to honestly look and say, how are we going to improve this? What are the steps that we're going to do to be able to do this? And interestingly, the only way we could do that is put our political self behind our national self. Our national party is the most important if we're trying to advance, not our individual ambition. And our individual ambition, and when my financiers they push me to do, that oftentimes would interfere with trying to come to a consensus where all of us could benefit out of this thing. It's not, and I am not trying to be simplistic, nor am I trying to brush over this thing like the one least small thing. This is a big thing. And I think this moment is a teachable moment. We have never had this in our history. What is it that's causing it to be like that? I remember when Don Hector used to talk many years ago that there was supposed to be a rule in Belize of campaign financing, that anybody could get up and decide that they want to run because they don't have to worry about, I need to get $1 million to run. So many of those early politicians were not even college graduates. But we felt comfortable because we said Mr. So-and-so or Miss So-and-so, they really look out for we. We were naive, we were young, we were really, you know, trying to just, as we understood the democracy, elect somebody from among us and then go and go represent we. That's the way we thought it was supposed to be. We open our eyes now, and when we look retrospectively, we see other things, but at least we recognize at that time that we had one relationship with Lindy Rogers. We had a relationship with Curl Thompson. We had a relationship with these various politicians that we were able to be close with, and we felt, you know, that I really put you there. Nowadays, you get a feeling that the money put you there. You don't get the sense that, why my vote counted to the point that I get you there. So I'm saying, and I'm on a limb here, I recognize that, but we need to recognize that if we're going to do the same old, well then, everything is like normal. But if we are looking at these incidents as teachable moments, then where do we go from here? Back to the same old? Because this will blow over like one lee breeze, and 6 months from now, we will not remember this. We will just, it's an anomaly, and we moved on. But if we want to do anything.
My answer again with all of this, Nuri,
yeah,
the power lies in the people.
Absolutely.
And if the people is satisfied with the government they are getting, will they continue? You see, because we have to change it with our vote.
Yeah.
Because we are democracy and we have to go vote. So with our vote, we can change it, and we could demand, and we could get into the street and demand what we want. But if we are satisfied with what happened to us, then we will continue. I want the minority and the majority have it. So until the majority get up and say enough of this, we want change. And we put people there who we believe could change it, because they two political parties now change it. Then they love it. They relish in it. They get rich. All their family has to get rich by the system they have right now. So the power lies in the people. And in that code we mentioned Colonel Thompson in the record, don't forget the Honorable Philip Wilson.
No, I never forget that. I just, I'm a Dana, Mesopotamia in my head just now.
He a warrior. He stand up, he one in the house.
Yeah.
They call him all kind of thing. He stand up, he one in the house. Black monkey, all kind of thing they call Brother Philip. He stand up and war in the country. Watch how he died. A poor man. But he stand up for the country, I never back out. I don't care when they tell him fight. Then are the people we need to get into politics.
All right.
And I tell you, if the people get together in this country, we got any crowd there will look like things that happen. The majority of the people to bring that down easy. Easy if we get out there, put heads together and say, no, we're not allowed this now. But we have to do it. We have to get together, and that's one of the hardest things to do. So we get together and rally behind one another. You see? Until we develop that mindset, and maybe we got crowds that come behind us and things like that directly. Why did Shelley this $25 go to give me and $50? I vote who know the benefits, not the work for me. We have to stand up with board and say, we don't deal with that.
All right.
But people have to develop that mindset, brother. But you take care of the things that are down.
All right. Good to see you. Good to see you. All right, my brother. All the best. All right. It's exactly 7:30 now. We'll take our next break for 2 Cents Scam, which is brought to you by Fort Point Security. We'll take our break, come back. The phone line will remain open because our guest does not come in until 8 o'clock. All right.
You're watching WB and this is XTV. And when you work for government for so much years, you expect your pension. The union don't have to come and cause one quarrel for the people that pension work for so much years. But guess what? Who more better to talk to? All right? And find out their 2 cents that the people up on the street. All right? After when you work for government so much years, you want all these smilers. Let's go find out people their 2 cents.
I had a pension on myself, so I could tell you,
And you don't have to go through nothing to get your earnings.
No, man, once you don't qualify, and the law is supposed to be there to protect the people there. So
what are the age?
It depends which, like me, I am a soldier, so after 22 years, I give me pension.
All right.
But other people, I think they're 55, and I'm not too sure how they.
Now, you're 2 cents?
Yes, sir.
All right.
All right.
You ever worked for government before?
No, darling.
All right, but you there with the people who deserve their pension?
Yeah.
All right. Now, you're 2 cents?
By 2 cents.
Oh, you ever worked for government? No. All right. Now, you're 2 cents. Oh, you miss? You think after so much years you deserve your pension? When you work for government?
Not too bad.
You're...
Not too bad the money.
Yeah.
Fair?
Fair enough?
Fair.
All right. Yeah, you're 2 cents. Right. Have you worked for government after so much years? You think you deserve a pension?
Yeah, you sure do deserve a pension. As a Belizean, you sure do deserve a pension.
You work for government before?
I sure do work for government.
Oh, what are the age for make you qualify for your pension?
Well, I guess that's 60.
Now you're 2 cents?
Yes, but.
All right. Yeah, you think when you work for government after so much years you deserve a pension?
Yes, you do deserve a pension.
And what age you think?
I would have suggest the age would be the same, 55, the retirement age, because enough Belizean, enough people worldwide know they reach the age of 60. Most of it,
60 that age?
Yeah, 60 at the age of pension, but enough of it dead before 60.
So where part of money go?
I don't know.
That's your 2 cents?
Yeah, my 2 cents.
All right, welcome back. This is WUB, Wake Up Belize, Morning Vibes, and our telephone lines are still open here at 280-5848, and you are absolutely welcome to join us this morning. In 10 minutes, we are supposed to have a guest, so we'll try and take as many calls as we can. Welcome, caller.
Good morning, this is Sandra Coy.
Good morning, sister.
That advisory issued from the State Department concerning the Cuban medical brigades that provide medical service internationally. Do you understand it? Do you understand that we, well, all of us, what I'm dealing with Belize, are being asked to participate in a final siege of the Cuban society? This is the final stage of a siege that will use all means at its disposal, starvation, everything, to bring to a final end the present Cuban order. Do you understand that that is where this is heading? That's the purpose here?
Well, I can't figure out why would you perpetuate a continued a blockade on this government that is not directly doing anything towards you. As a matter of fact, Cuba does not have a history of assaulting the United States at all. It has always been the other way around. But Sister Sandra, this is over 60 odd years later. What would be the justification, except, as I'm getting from you, we just want to see you die. You know, you have...
To bring it all to an end.
Yeah, you upstart, we are bringing you down.
When the Dominican Republic is going to enter into an arrangement with the United States on rare earth minerals, in the press conference that Rubio had in the Dominican Republic, this was revealed. In my opinion, to the surprise and maybe even consternation of the very Dominicans themselves, referring to the reaction of the journalists. The very president sounded frightened. He didn't sound a comfortable man. Now, bearing in mind that Hispaniola, Cuba, the Virgin Islands, Jamaica, Puerto Rico, are all part of a mountain chain, the same mountain chain that formed Hispaniola. So the minerals, the mineral content, etc., may not be identical, but there's going to be a high mineral content in those mountains. Then when you get into the Lesser Antilles, what you have are mostly volcanic mountains, again, mineral formation, but not quite the same as mountains that have been formed by sediment that was deposited, and that sediment was raised up in a mountain building period, and that sediment was compressed and turned into other minerals by virtue of fire and heat and all of that. So Haiti is as rich, Haiti and the Dominican Republic make up its island of Hispaniola. So what was revealed for Dominican Republic can automatically be extended to include Haiti. And as we speak, there's a new assault on Haiti as we speak, commencing of violence, a whole new round. Yeah. So, at the Dominican Republic, they're also going to be getting involved in an energy program that will be extended to Puerto Rico. So apparently, the Dominican Republic is going to become the control center for the energy provision for Puerto Rico, and the semiconductor. The U.S. will be setting up a semiconductor business in Puerto Rico. Sorry, in the Dominican Republic. So, my opinion, and Cuba is part of the same mountain chain. in my opinion, what I am seeing is the final assault. Just as the Romans did with Jerusalem on the eve of the in 70 AD when it collapsed. There's the same thing where these people are limping, and now you're being told, well, this is a forced labor program, and if you participate in it, you are participating in human trafficking. And, well, I'm not disputing it's not forced labor. I'm not of that. But these people have a right to decide, they have a right to the society they want. And above all, they have a right to eat. They are not selling anything illegal. Medicine, they are practicing medicine where many people have gone to study medicine in this place. So this is medicine now that they are marketing medical services, and you are telling me these medical services are part of a terrorist program of illegal activity. But all I can see is that the monies that go into Cuba that are helping, I don't know in what amount, but making some small contribution to keeping Cubans alive, you want that to come to an end too. I am not a communist, Nuri. I never supported communism. I understand it. I can identify with a few things, but I don't want to live in a communist system. Me personally. Other people can want to live under that. I don't have any problem. I don't support. However, you have a right to live, to life. And it seems to me that this is where Belize and all the countries like us who have Cuban medical disease are being called upon to do. You don't see that way?
Well, we've been asked to take a side, certainly, and but we don't have that big picture, Sandra. You painted in a few minutes a big picture that many don't have. We don't know the geography of that area. We don't know the politics of the area, and we certainly don't know the raw material of that area.
Well, remember that forget about mineral resources. The Americans sold it against the Cubans because they nationalized the electrical system and all of that, which prior to the rise of Castro was under their control. So there's a deep resentment and they want payment back for that and all of that, you understand? And they have a fund that they established years ago, decades ago, Nuri. A development fund that will be applied when Cuba becomes free. But my problem is, Mr. Rubio is a Cuban. Are we being asked to participate in a personal vendetta?
That's a big question there, indeed.
This is very worrisome. Yeah. Extremely alarming. And then, although all of that is not bad enough, there is this new geo-economic context. Ukraine, where from the time the war started, I said it's their resources they want. And it's been proven now. I'm not wrong.
No, it's out. It's out.
Now you have the DRC and their minerals.
Yeah.
And the chaos is spreading. Burundi is in a mess as we speak because thousands upon thousands of displaced persons are arriving at Burundi's borders. They don't know what to do with them. So the whole of Africa will be hauled into that mess. Then you have the Dominican Republic. If you heard, I heard consternation, taken aback, whichever word you want, in some of those Dominican reporters' voices. And as I tell you, the president, he sounded a frightened man to me.
Yeah.
And all the things that Mr. Rubio promised publicly would be done to safeguard Haiti are not a single one has been kept. if it is to stabilize. But none of the things have been done. As a matter of fact, as we speak, isn't there a rising opposition in America to a mass return of Haitians to the island?
Yes.
And they're saying, but how are you going to do this? So all of that now, taken into the mineral content of the Caribbean, not only the petroleum, but so Ukraine, they are negotiating petroleum, rare earth minerals, all kind of things America is demanding. You know, but my question to the Belizean political class, so have we agreed to participate in this siege? Because we'll have to make a decision, one way or the other. Will we participate in the siege of Cuba, or will we not participate? If we don't participate, there's a price to pay.
Yeah. Well,
And if we participate, there's a price to pay now. So we have lost our credibility. So where do we go?
yeah. Well, if we participate,
You don't see this as a serious existential question?
It is a serious.
Yes,
I do, and in fact, we're being pulled into a situation here that is very, very, very dangerous. And but Ms. Koi, I have to take this break.
Yes, I'm aware of that. But I'm just thought that I would call and put this thing on the table.
And I'm glad that you did.
I feel my soul and the souls of my people are being under attack now.
Yeah.
I know where I stand, but I am a single person. Bye-bye.
All right, thank you. It's exactly 8 o'clock now. We need to stop and break. And as I said, we do have a guest coming in, so we're going to take the break now. This is WUB, Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes. I'm Nuri Muhammad for the Thursday edition of WUB, and we welcome you. Our numbers here is 2805848, and you are welcome to call, whether you're calling from here or calling from the diaspora. You're welcome to weigh in and to make your voice be heard. We spoke a little bit about this process called democracy, and it's a strange word. It's a really strange word, and if you are a student, I would advise you to go and look up the word. It has its origin among the Greeks, and it had an idea that it would be the average citizen of a community will have a right to say how he feels about the running of the community because he lives there. Now, originally, this was not laid out to the ordinary person. It took a long time before it got to us. It started as an elite concept. It started as an elite concept where Roman citizens were allowed to participate and have a yea or a nay. The ordinary person never got no role. Why? Because this is not your society. You are an enslaved person. You don't run nothing here. So we will give you a vote for. You don't even know where to go on here. So this is for the knowledgeable and learned people. How did it relate in Belize? It became only the property owners. So me and you and we grandparents never got no role in that prior to 1954. We never played no role. Why? Because you had to be a property owner in order to do that. Yes, there was a sprinkling of blacks, former slaves that had bought their freedom or had been manumitted to become free, and so they were able to own property and had a vote. But the majority of we never got no vote. Huh? When you see Anthony Sabaranis and these people, Mr. Betson and them were fighting for our rights, those were rights that we did not have as far as a voting right. Those were rights that we were clamoring for on the basis of our humanity, that you can't treat we like this. But we never got no vote. So that vote did not come until 1954. It didn't even come with the nationalist movement that started in 1950. So we had to clamor in order for us to get that vote. And then when they told us about the vote, they told it to us in the very similar way they told it to the African countries, to the Caribbean countries, etc. They say, all right, you got two political parties. In most of these states, it is two, it's not multiple parties. We are now starting, after 40 odd years, to experiment with having more than one party or having more than one candidate. But in reality, that is not the popular way. That's not what they refer to as participatory democracy, or in some jurisdictions where you could just stand up and say, I want to be one candidate and I have enough people here who want me to be one candidate, and I push myself, and if I make it into the House, I could be one of several other independent individuals, each of us having a right to pass our opinion on any measure that's coming before the House that is going to affect the people. We have the right to do that. But that not suffer we system the work. And we need to wake up and smell that coffee. We know the work like that. We work like a cabal. That the boss is the man who is in charge of the cabinet. And the people who are there in the cabinet, yes, they have an opinion, what you call individual opinion, and they can, in a way, give their 30-second soundbite, they can say certain things that sound very individual. But when the government that they are a part of is going to do anything, it must be a decision that comes out of those men and women that are sitting around that table, who are the majority from the election that were voted in. And not all of them should be ministers. In fact, we went through this exercise over 20 years ago where we said we wanted to limit the amount of the cabinet so that we would create a thing called backbenchers. These are individuals who don't necessarily have a chance to weigh in until after. We don't trust that kind of system there. We don't trust that. We ensure that those even not in the cabinet have the opinion of the cabinet. So you don't got no independent voters. You don't got this thing like in the United States where you got some of the Democrats that voted against Biden, or you have certain individuals that voted against Bush. You don't have that in Belize. Who do you have in Belize where the UDP voted for the PUP? Yes, they have certain measures that are like tame and no got no radar in it. Sure, we all could vote for that because really mean nothing. But you put those money bills and put those other very important bills in front of us and watch and see how the side goes. The side goes with what was decided in the cabinet, and the cabinet says this is what we are going to vote on, and everybody is, yes sir. Now, is that bad? It's not bad. But is that what we say we are trying to develop? I'm not sure. And this is what we got to bring out and have people debate and discuss. Because we are trying now to evolve our system. Are we saying that what we have is perfect and we don't need to touch it? Are we saying that what we have here is a Belizean democracy, unique and nothing like it around the world, and so let us preserve it? Is that what we're saying? If it is what we're saying, then let us conclusively say that, as opposed to we're not sure what exactly is the system that we're working. Now, kudos to the government that is in, and I am saying this, that it's important to also recognize that what is being done, if it is being done and it's producing results, we've got to acknowledge the result. It can't be one situation where if they're red and they have achieved certain thing, no, we have to piss on it and throw dirty water upon it because it's red. No, it ought not to be like that. The barometer ought to be, is it beneficial to the people? Is the people going to benefit from this particular measure? Then I don't care whether or not they're blue, I don't care whether or not they're red. This is the benefit of the people, and I there because the people put me here. But that's not how the system works. The system is to throw dirty water on a measure, regardless to whether or not it looks as though it's going to benefit, and then kill it, even if we have to resurrect it again. Look at the pantry program, and you'll see what I'm saying. We need to recognize that there's certain things that are non-political, and that there's a lot of room for our political debates. We've got a lot of things that we could debate and come to the conclusion as to what is right. So leave those things that are not necessary to confuse up the situation. All right, we'll take this before we go to our next break. Welcome, caller. Welcome again.
Yes, good morning, Brother Nuri.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, my brother.
Good morning, WV. Good morning, Belize. Yes, Brother Nuri, I heard the conversation over the years, and I've been listening to the conversation, especially for the last couple of months. And Sister Sandra Koi, man, that lady has been, she for people who, for Belize purpose and historical data, right? Because we're lacking of that. We don't have a historical data archive in this country for significant for significant occurrences, especially like right now, if we can have a history to show when, like this in-house fighting with the opposition, that this is important and this is very serious. But I wanted to speak more globally because Sister Sandra said something that really gave the pulse for this call. She said that she's a little bit unsettled for our nation in the international scene. No, Brother Nuri, I'm a Belizean. I'm 43 years old. I born 1981. So I know for a fact that Belize is a very unique country, and the way of our origin is very unique. Yes, I also did international travel. I did my part of my schooling in the United States, so I understand the United States policies and the way they are governed and the way how they carry themselves. Now, the United States, it's a historical fact that power only concedes power. If you look at the United States, they went and they had a nice, cozy conversation with Putin. This is world power. Now, a lot of things have been said about Putin, but yet the United States had Putin what you call a decent conversation, gentleman conversation. Now that's power and power. We look at Belize, and Brother Moore mentioned the other day we had this issue, and I asked the question: Did the fly? We know United States manufacture these flies down in Panama. So my question would be with that, like, did that matter get settled? I haven't heard about that, right? And then now we look at Belize. What alliance? Who's our alliance in this time? We're in a very, very dangerous time when it comes to world power and the way politics is played in the world. Now we are faced with making this decision with Cuba. Cuba has been very helpful to Belize over the years, but yet we understand their communist origin. And Mr. Rubio just said that, the leaders there in Cuba, they are treating the Cubans like garbage. No, you said something 1954, Guatemala. There is a coup in Guatemala. United States, they are very skillful. I'm not in any way trying to create any aspersion here, but I'm saying that we really need to be very, very, very aware of who we're dealing with here. Guatemala and that coup came about because, we had the large interest of some American farm growers in Guatemala. So when that coup came, the skill that the United States had at that time, Eisenhower and those guys, the skill that they had was to infiltrate Guatemala, like to create propaganda media, to create a scenario that shows that, how work with we? Well, here what happened, right? This is what we want to do. We want to start to create these infiltration in the system, and then we'll end up bringing it down to your knees. Eventually, the militia that the United States backed, that leader of that militia ended up to become the Guatemalan president back in those times. So if we look at history, and listen, I'm an avid history, you say a history freak, right? But listen, our country needs to understand what we're doing. Our Prime Minister, I have all the respect for Mr. Briceño. He stood tall the other day when he said, no, we're not going to accept the United States to send people down to our country. So we need to understand what's going on here. Who we eat from. If we have another alternative to grow here, but it seems like that's long gone, right? We're now so comfortably depending on the foreign aid, the import. So now listen, what will we do if we have to follow the big bad power? What stance do we have? Have we set our country up, or have we set ourselves up like the older days folks? When I was growing up, I was able to see some of the older men in the River Valley area. They were able to grow their own stuff, had the fire hearts in the backyard. They were able to send their kids to school from a farm type of perspective, type of living, right? That's gone. Right now we are in a world where we're depending on a certain nation, and then we can't have this stance to say,
Sir?
That's just my concern.
No. Yeah, I really appreciate it. It's well thought out. We're in a transition period now.
The world, yes.
Yeah, and really, it's not the first time it's being done, but for many of us, it's like the first time because we don't know history. And I agree with you that Sister Sandra is a wealth untold.
She told me to call. I wanted to do it from a while back, but when she said what she said, that she's unsettling in her heart, and it may be only her, I would say to her, no, it's not only her. Yeah. I had this feeling from the time that they said all of a sudden.
Yeah, indeed.
I'm feeling her, the frequency. I'm feeling frequency from her this morning, and I really had to contribute that.
I'm glad you did. Because people like Sandra, in a religious terminology, would be referred to as people who are crying in the dark. because the surrounding environment is not aware of all that you're saying, and so it's almost, but every so often you get a call like yours, which says, no, we are listening and we are hearing, and I'm glad that you are acknowledging that this morning. Very important.
I really appreciate the medium that firm provides, because like I said, the information is out there. So for me, from the age of 13, I opened the books, and I was an avid reader. I love to expand my mind with reading. If I'm not, like to say, a university will not give you an entire scope of what's taking place. So you need to read these Time magazines, you need to read from the newspaper articles, whatever. So yeah, I've been reading, and I think that I have certain things in track, but for belief, I'm a Belizean. I'm not a nationality from no other country, and I'm thinking that, if we, for example, like the light, the electricity, we are dependent so heavily on Mexico. Like, we are really in a position that if people want to, if we don't act nice, there are people who can do certain things, right? For us. So, like, that's just my concern. And I don't want to expand more because we're in an election. We need this to go through peacefully, but we definitely need to have certain sit down, and we need, the higher level official figure out.
Yeah, you're right, Aki. And listen, no government today is independent. The concept is a false concept. And, we could elaborate on that. The world was never made for independent nations. The concept of independence was a very small concept in a very contained city. It wasn't like independent of everything. No, there's no such thing. We are all interdependent. For example, the United States, as powerful as they are with their product, are now realizing that in order to get your product to the market, the elements of that product had to come from this nation, that nation, that nation, that nation, that nation, and by the time you get it to the consumer, it's not just you producing that. It's you in collaboration. But if you are blocking the knowledge of people knowing that you are not the jefe, that there are other people that are helping you in the process, then their ignorance causes you to be the jefe. And that's why we've got America in the jefe today. They are the most debt-ridden country in the world, but who is going to go knock on their door and say, pay me where you owe me? So there's a lot to discuss, and I thank you very much for your call, young 43-year-old. I appreciate it. We'll take our break and come back. I'm not sure. I think the guest is here. If not, there's a lot to discuss when we come back.
In Belize, we value our families. We value our communities.
All right, welcome back. This is WUB, Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes. And we decided to do an adjustment with our guest. He is the Imam of the Muslim community, and this Saturday begins the month of Ramadan. And he had some delays and could not get here. So we've invited him to return tomorrow. But tomorrow will also be a special day. And the Muslim community will be donating, how do you say that, pantry bags, bags with about $100 worth of groceries, and we'll be giving that away tomorrow. And the giveaway will be based on your having a little bit of knowledge of the Muslim community. Muslim community in Belize has been here for over 50 years. In fact, yesterday, the 26th day of February, was the commemoration of the leadership ascension of W.D. Muhammad, Warf D. Muhammad, the son of Elijah Muhammad, who had passed away a couple of days before, I believe on the 24th. But then the annual convention, which is on the 26th of February, is when Warf D. Muhammad came into office, and it made a tremendous transformation for those of us Muslims in Belize. Over the last 40 years, we have been on the Sunni path. Welcome, caller. Welcome, caller. All right. We are inviting him to return tomorrow because now it would not give justice to what we had planned to discuss. So tomorrow, with these questions, and it'll be simple questions. There will be no complicated university questions. It'll be questions based on you having a knowledge of what's been going on around you. And if you answer the question correctly, then we will give you one of these bags, which is worth $100. Yes, welcome. Welcome, caller.
Yes, good morning, Nuri Muhammad.
Yes. Yes,
God
sir.
is great.
Indeed, he is. Welcome.
I remember when I was locked up, I said he was a Muslim, and that was my way of getting out during lockdowns to go to Ramadan, you know.
Yes.
The hard part about Ramadan was the fasting part for me because I was lifting weights. And at the same time, he's fasting at the same time from dusk to dawn, you know. So I kind of like violated the rules of Ramadan and just participated in the ceremony.
I see. I see. Well, let's hope that if you are able this time around, it begins on Saturday, the 1st of March, and goes through the 30th of March. And look, you know, we are human beings. If you are able to try to fast and you find you might have a little rocky day, don't give up. Keep trying. And I can tell you, the fast of Ramadan, you don't have to be a Muslim to benefit from that fast. That fast is just an amazing it's just pushing the reset button, man. It's just wonderful.
Yeah. Yeah, I know how to fast now, you know. I watch him get up early in the morning, like 3, 4 o'clock, and do his breakfast and everything. Just let that, you know, because, you know, we as men don't have to eat all day or eat every day. It's good when your body fasts and everything. It gives your mind, your tempo more clear and think about things in life, you know. You go through yourself, make a lot of nonsense with you, you know.
Especially now, brother, because the world is in a funny place. I don't want to say it's in a bad place, because to a large extent, we form the world based on the information that comes to us, and the information that comes to us is coming through a controlled mechanism. It's not just information. It's very directed. Right. And there are gatekeepers who screen this information. So the information that gets to the normal person is a screened information. It's not information, it's a screened information. And so there's an agenda in that. And I'm not into conspiracy theories, but I'm saying to you that you don't know all that's going on in the world every day. You know what is given to you So there's a lot of good news going on out here, but you don't hear the good news. All you hear is the bad news. And if you hear bad news repeatedly over a period of time, as a human being, if you don't have something to combat that, you begin to absorb that and you become depressed. And you start walking around and say, boy, look at Trump being the end of the world, and look here. We have been here before. Read history. We have had, man, look here. You think Trump is bad? You don't read history yet. You have not read history. If you read history, you will see that he's nothing but a poop butt. He's a arrogant person who is full of power, dangerous, but he's not the most powerful man that has ever been in the world. Like this thing about Elon Musk is the most powerful, rich man in the world. Who gave you that propaganda there? What makes you think that he is? Have you been to Brunei? Have you seen the king of Brunei, where his wealth is unfathomable? You can't get to the root of his. So no, we have to watch the propaganda that is constantly coming at us because it forms our thinking. It's like religion. If you get a certain way of looking at life, you walk away thinking that is the life, rather than having other experiences that show you, no, that's just one opinion of the life.
Mr. Nuri Mohammed, you know, I used to play ball in Belize with Wakia, back in the late 80s and 90s with Wakia, and my coach, Coach Mas, Norberto Mas, he's a Muslim. You know who's Norberto Mas?
You in martial art?
Oh, no. His name is Norberto Mas, his real name, but he has a Muslim name. He lives in Dangriga. He was my coach.
Yes, man. Yes. You mean the famous football player?
Yeah. I have to play with him. I was on his team.
Yes, man. Of course, we know him. That's Brother Abdul. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the name right there. So so we hang out every time I'm there. That's like my dad. That's my mentor. That's my teacher. So I really look up to that man. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So, but I know as a Muslim, every so often he got to go take time and go pray to the east every so. Doing workout back in the days, you have to go lead him with your fathers and go pray. Is that mandatory?
Yeah, it is. It is mandatory.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool. So I see one thing already. I see that you got like 13 more minutes, 14 more minutes. This lockdown in Belize City, right? You know what I'm saying? When that lockdown, it got distant, right? It reminds me of us in LA when the MS-13s, when there's us blacks on the streets, and somebody get killed, a black get killed, or MS-13 get killed, it goes all the way to the prisons system.
Yeah.
And we have to go on a lockdown because of riots. We might go take off on the Mexicans.
Yeah.
They might take off on us because it's a hit or it's a shot call. Because every cell block got a shot call. I don't care if they change their life in jail. God, every cell block has a shot caller in it. I've been there, done that. I've been in 20 rights in Kelly County children prisons. So I know how that system works.
Yeah.
So whatever y'all got to do, y'all got to search those cells too, because during lockdowns, you're going to find shanks, you're going to find knives. So you got to go in there and go pick their cells up and see what they're doing behind the scenes.
Yeah. Indeed.
So I hope you guys get that all cleared up, but I know how their business system works and everything. And
Yeah. But we haven't had that. We haven't had the Muslims in the prison here have not had any problems of violence. We have not.
Because Muslims being their own world when it comes to doing time in prison.
Yeah. But
even the business, in America, any politics with the blacks or the Crips and the Bloods is on them. Ain't no Muslims involved.
Yeah.
When it comes to a riot, if it's a riot with us blacks and it's started, the Muslims don't partake. It's on.
Never.
That's not part of
Never. I was the Muslim chaplain in an institution in California, and I can tell you when there were troubles taking place in different parts of the prison, Muslims were never involved because they're not gang affiliated, they're not, they're not into race, they're not into this, they're not into that, but they are so serious.
Yeah.
Nobody mess with the Muslim. You don't mess with the Muslim. one of these days we'll talk about that, the influence of the Muslims in New York and the,
Yeah, you have a God-fearing place, sir, 'cause I can talk about this last time all day and night, because I know what's going down with my cousins and family down in Philly City and those stuff and everything. Y'all have to keep it cool down there, cousins and families and brothers. Peace out.
all right, brother. Thank you very much. We'll take our last break and come back and close up.
The Social Security Board, in collaboration with the
we've come to the end of our program for this morning. It's 9 o'clock, and in fact, a minute after 9 o'clock. And we hope, God willing, inshallah, to be with you again tomorrow. It's always a blessing and an honor to participate in this conversation every weekday morning. It is actually a therapeutic part of my life. To be on air is one part of it, but to be engaged in these conversations, even off the air, is really what I am all about. I don't want to live my life as if we're just in a treadmill, just going around with the same old. That can create insanity. We have to begin to believe that each day we're making a difference in a world that we're trying to create. We cannot become fatalistic and look at it and say, why, you don't make no difference. You have to believe that you are making a difference and try to measure your difference in small ways as opposed to say you're changing the whole world. Because you're not going to change the whole world. But you are in a position where those areas that you do have an influence over, like spending some more time with your family, spending some time with your children, spending some time cleaning your teeth. There are a lot of little small things that we tend to not think it's important until it come back and bite we. So we suggest all the time that these programs here in the mornings have a value. Even if you listen for the entire 2.5 hours and you didn't hear anything that struck you, that don't mean you don't listen tomorrow, because your big day might be tomorrow. It's very important to be engaged in this thing. They call it democracy, but it's a governance process to try to improve our life. Belizeans, well, let me thank everybody that was involved. We got Mr. Guerrero downstairs, Jason. We also have upstairs Miss Belaid, and of course Mr. Clifton Lewis, and we were joined this morning also by Harlan Wagner. Belizeans, stand strong and stand firm and remember to do the right thing. For now, we gone!